Hello, welcome to my tutorial on managing your website cPanel and email, and also adding the email to Gmail at the end of this tutorial if you'd like to do that. My name's Craig, I'm from Foxy Web Design and Design Kink. Now, for this tutorial I'll be using this domain name up here, design-sydney.com. It's one of my many test URLs to build websites until the client approves it, and then I make it go live on their proper URL. So for this tutorial, just imagine this is yourdomain.com or yourdomain.org or whatever, and this is how I'll be doing the test. I'll be using a password wallet as one of my tools for this. I recommend that a password wallet is fundamental software for anyone. At the end of this video I'll tell you more about this password wallet, but all you need to know is that I only need to remember one password that helps manage all my websites, all my passwords, account names in a very secure way. So I've now logged into the cPanel. cPanels are very common across the internet for hosting websites. My company Foxy Web Design offers hosting with cPanel. This is a very standard way that you'll see the cPanel with the file manager at the top, which is basically where your website lives, and the email section. So this is what we'll be discussing in this tutorial, the email section and how to set it up. I'd already set up a test one yesterday called Testy. I'm just going to delete that. Notice how I'm on this panel here called email accounts. We only have one email at this point in time. I'm going to delete this and start over again. Alright, now there's no email accounts in this cPanel, so we're going to add one. I'm going to come back up to my password wallet. Whenever I add anything new, I always create an entry for it in my password wallet. I'll just open this up here and you can see that's what I did yesterday. I'm just going to delete this one and start again so you can see everything right from the beginning. Alright, so we'll call this one tester, and that will be tester@yourdomain.com. In my case it's tester@design-sydney.com. Now it's asking for a password. The cPanel can help you generate a safe and secure password. I'm just going to create one step further. My password wallet also has the ability to create random passwords, and I like combining them. Maybe it's superstition, don't ask me why. I always restrict myself to a 16 character limit. Some programs don't tell you, but they have that. Some of the Android apps, when you're locking in, won't let you go past 16 characters, which is annoying. It's on older versions. I think the newer versions have overcome that. Regardless, 16 is quite good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 characters is what I'm using at the moment. Down the track in the future, I'll probably use more. If any hackers are watching this, obviously this account doesn't exist anymore. This was just created for the sake of this tutorial. I'm always going to be encouraging all my audience to always use safe and secure practices. Never use the same password for any account. It would help a hacker guess different accounts' passwords until they eventually might even break into your bank account. If you're using the same passwords for multiple accounts, that would be a very silly idea. I'm going to create it as an unlimited account, and yes, I'll send a welcome email to that account after this account's created. So now I'm going to create that account. The account tester@design-sydney.com has now been created. I'll just add that information in here for my reference so I don't have to go through this again. Just going to show you some other tricks that I do when I'm creating an entry in my password wallet for easy reference. I'm going to call this one design-sydney email. The URL is yourdomain.com. In my case it's design-sydney.com, but whatever your domain is. To access the webmail, just do a / and type in webmail, and I'll discuss that more in a minute. And so now I've created my entry for my password wallet. That will help me. I'll just copy, save, and make sure I've saved that. Don't forget to back up your password wallet as well. If you've only got one copy of your password wallet and lose that, you'd be in a bit of strife. You can, if you forget passwords, usually every login window's got a forgot password window, and they'll email your password reset key. Anyway, so yeah, so as I said, we've created this account. We can either view it here, or if I click on email accounts, we'll be able to see it here. There it is. It's all set up. So now we have an email set up, but now we need to set it up on your computer or on your email client if it's a browser-based one. And the way we do that is by connecting devices and going to the setup client where you see this window. These manual settings are all the settings you'll ever need to set up on any device ever, with the addition of your password. Note it doesn't show your password here. That's why it was a good idea to record it securely using a password wallet. If not, then you'd need to record it securely, perhaps on a piece of paper somewhere that you wouldn't lose, or somewhere that's safe and secure, but nothing beats a password wallet. I'll draw your attention to these scripts that you can download, and they'll help you set up this particular email account here. These scripts will set up this email account on any of these devices. It usually works. You just run the script and then restart your device, and then you should have access to that email. You'll need to enter the password, of course, so again, you'll need to have noted that password down. But of course, if these scripts aren't working for you, then you'll always be able to do it using these manual settings. That's assuming you've got those manual settings correct. And that's the configuration or setup mail client window. Let's just go back to here for a moment. So I'm back in the email accounts window on cPanel. And we could have set up the mail client that way. We could also do a thing called access webmail. So I'll show you what happens when we access webmail. Sometimes you need to press this little allow button at the top right to get into this window. It's asking us to choose a default webmail application. You can set a default if you want. I choose not to, because sometimes I might want to use Roundcube or Squirrel Mail. Other times I might use Horde. Horde is great for dealing with large volumes of email and backing up large volumes of email. But there's also a function in cPanel that will back all those things up as well, and I'll cover that later on in this tutorial. But for now, we're going to go into Roundcube. We can see there's an inbox there. We can see that we can compose mail here and send email to people straight away. So once you've set up that email from cPanel, you can start sending and receiving email straight away just through the webmail. Okay. But additionally, we can set up this email account to work on your computer. For instance, Mac Mail or something like that on your Mac, or Thunderbird or something like that on your PC. Or perhaps you use a browser-based email client like Gmail or Hotmail. Again, these settings here, with the addition of your password, are all you'll ever need to set up to any email account. All right? So, before I show you how to add this email account to Gmail, we'll just go back to the cPanel and have a look at some of the other functions on the email. You've got forwarders here, so you can add a forwarder in case you want to forward. So we're going to add a forwarder, for instance, and if you wanted to add address to forward, say the one that we just created, tester at yourdomain.com, in this case design-sydney.com, you could forward it to any email address. That might be your Hotmail or Gmail or whatever, any email address you can forward them to. So forwarding is quite useful. Autoresponders are useful if you go on holidays. The track delivery is quite useful if you're having problems with bounce backs, to try and understand why the emails didn't get through how you were expecting. That can be quite useful. And a bunch of other different things like spam filters and things like that that we're not going to get into right now. So, okay, now I'm going to show you how to add your email to Gmail, just as a case example. But remember, the principle behind this is the same for adding your email account to just about anything. So in this case, I'm just going to, again, access the webmail. In fact, I'm going to access the webmail in a different way now, just so you can understand that we've accessed the webmail through the cPanel there. I'm also just going to open up this entry, and another thing that I should have done just to remind myself, what this actually is it's a design-sydney.com email address for tester, and that helps me see in all my lists of websites and whatnot, and logins and whatnot, that I can see very clearly that this is the settings for the email, which is tester at design-sydney, and it lists alphabetical so I can find it easily that way. And when I click on this address, it takes us to design-or yourdomain.com webmail, and that resolves to :2096, which is basically the entrance to webmail, to be technical. But just remember, it's yourdomain.com or .org or whatever /webmail takes you to the webmail on our system and on a lot of systems. Alright, so I've logged into the webmail again. You've seen this window before, you're familiar with that. You know that there's one email in here so far, which is our settings. And so with these settings in mind, we're now going to add it to Gmail. So let's do that. So now I'm going to go to Gmail and make sure I'm logged in. I've got this test email account here. I'm just going to archive these messages to make it all nice and clean so you can see what I'm up to. I've created this test account because obviously I don't want people spamming me. So all these emails and things are just test accounts that I don't use. And that's just a little warning to you spammers and hackers out there that these accounts no longer exist. They were just made for the purposes of showing people how Gmail, how you can add your email account from cPanel to the Gmail. So we're in Gmail now, and I'll direct your attention up to this gear wheel on the top right. You click on that, and then you click on Settings. Once you're in the Settings panel, you need to click on Accounts and Import. And there's two sections here that we need to add, and that's Send Mail As and Check Mail From. Alright, so we're going to start with Send Mail As, and we're going to add an email address. Alright, now note it's asking for my name and my email address. So I'm going to come back down to my settings window here. Note that I've got multiple tabs open in my browser. Makes it easy to go from one website to the other if you're copying information from one to the other, and the information I need is my email address. In this situation, I just use my email address as the name. I just find that much easier personally, but you may want to look at that differently. I also treat everything as an alias. You might want to learn more about the difference between aliases and not, but I find the aliases function useful, and then we click to the next step. Now it's asking me for the SMT server username and password. So I'll draw your attention to the server name, which is both for incoming or receiving, and it's the same for outgoing or sending. It's the same server name. Now I'll draw your attention to the port number for sending. For the outgoing port number, that would be 465. So just make sure that you choose the right port number there. The username. Again, this is the name of the actual email address. And finally, the password. And this is why it's good to have a password manager, so I can simply grab the password from there. I'm going to choose the recommended SSL connection and press Add Account. So it will just wait for a moment, and now what it's saying is that there's a verification code on the way to this email address, and that's why the webmail function is so useful, so we can go in here and wait for that email to come through. It can take anywhere from a few seconds to a couple of minutes, so just be patient. Every now and again you might want to press refresh and wait for that email to come through. But what I'm going to do now is I'll just put this video on hold because I know it's going to take about a minute and I don't want to bore you. So just bear with me. Alright, back again. That didn't take even a minute. So we've got the confirmation code. I'll just grab that to start off with and paste that in there to verify. And just keep reading this email because it's got some extra stuff. Before you can send mail from this account, you've got to click this link below and press confirm. Alright, And so back to here. Mail is sent through this. Yes, good, great, all right. You can make that default if you want. So you'd be sending through there as a default if you chose that. I'm not going to do that for now. But I think this is a good idea. Always reply from... Oh no, reply to the same address as the message was sent to. I think that's sensible, that one, that option. Now, to check the mail from that same account, we need to do this again. We need to add the email account. So again, have that window. Generally in the webmail, I find it useful in here, but you know that you can access these settings through cPanel. I showed you that earlier. Just grab that, just grab the email address from there into there. Import emails, yes, would like to do that. The username is the email address. The password you have stored securely somewhere. I recommend a password wallet for that. Now, I'm going to try using port 993 because IMAP's quite useful, but it did say it was going to load through POP. So I might have to change that to 995. We'll know in a second. But before I press add account, I'm just going to make sure that we leave a copy of the retrieved messages. If I didn't click that, it would retrieve this message and then delete it. We don't want that, okay? Always use a secure connection. Yes, we do want that. Label incoming messages as your email at your domain. That makes a lot of sense to me. But archiving and skipping the inbox, that doesn't make too much sense to me. So let's try and add that and see what happens. Now it says there's a problem. I thought so. We'll just change that to 995 for POP3, okay? My error there. Apologies for steering you down the wrong track. And notice that it made our password disappear. Just be aware of that as well. We'll need to enter that in again. Everything else is looking good, so we'll add account. And that appeared to have worked. So I'm just going to click on this tab for Gmail now. We can see here that it says that it's checking the mail. Okay. Now, there was only 2 messages there. So I'm assumed that by now it's probably checked the mail and it's just having a hiccup. Could be my browser. Could be a number of things. I'm just going to press this refresh button. And it says it was last checked as a second ago, and it fetched two mails, which is what we had in there. So we know it's fetching the mail properly. And here we go. It's put 1 in there. It's probably put... No, it's put our Gmail one in there. The other one's in there somewhere. We could have seen it through that message where it said view. Or we could also look for... possibly look this way. Search the... Interesting. It's in there somewhere. Look, one of the reasons I like Gmail is because it finds things quite well. So it didn't find the other one of that. I'll just show you what I mean. Sorry, I'm just going down. I really don't want to sidetrack here too much, but I will for just a second. I'm just going to look for this. Why is this email not appeared in there? So just bear with me. I'll just look for that. Oh, there it is. It's gone into the trash. For some reason, Gmail has picked that up as a spam or something like that. But as long as we don't empty the trash, we're fine. We can just... I'll just archive it instead of trashing it. Alright, so it should go... It's somewhere here under the archives. I don't want this lesson to be about Gmail, though. but I do want to test the send function. I'll just draw your attention over here. At the moment it says from my Gmail address. If I want to send it from my other address, I'll need to send it from your name at your domain. Okay. So I'm going to test that in a minute, and I'm pretty sure it's going to work. But for now, let's just run over this again. I'm going to go to a different cPanel now and set up a different email address. And the reason I'm doing that instead of using an existing email address is because after this video, I will be deleting these email addresses. I do not tell people online what my email address is because I do not want to be added to a spam merchants list. So I go into these email accounts and have a look if there's any email account set up already. There's none. So I'm going to add an email account, and this will be your opportunity to see how this works. I'm just going to add testaruno@b9design.com. Generate a password. I'm not going to even record this password because I'm going to delete this in a minute. This can be have a quota or a limit of 1,000 megabytes again because I'll be deleting this in a minute, and create the account. We can view that account now, and we can also access the webmail. I like using round cube, and there's our welcome message with the settings. So let's just go back to here for a second. So this is the test email I'm going to send to, and the subject's going to be, did you get my test email? Okay, and we'll send that, and then come back to the Testaruno inbox and make sure that we have in fact received that email. Gmail can sometimes be slow sending email. It can take up to a few minutes. So I'm just going to press pause on the video so I don't waste your time, and I'll come back when that appears. You know what? I didn't really even need to pause that video because it appeared within seconds. You can see by the timestamp that it came through at 13:20, and this was when the this test email account was set up at 13:20. So that did come through very quickly, and so now we can see that the Gmail works. So what are the advantages of this? Well, one of the advantages of Gmail is this is a fabulous way to easily access your emails when you're traveling anywhere in the world, because it's usually pretty easy to log into Gmail from anywhere in the world. Another advantage of this system is Gmail, the free version of Gmail is free. Another advantage of this system is it acts as a second backup for all your emails. So as well as having all your emails on your cPanel and on your email server, you've also got a backup in your Gmail account of all those emails as well. Now, I'm going to show you about the password wallet that I use, as I promised. But that's basically the end of the discussion on cPanel emails, how to create an email account, and how to add that email account to Gmail. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you've got any questions, please ask in the comments section. If you've got any suggestions for other tutorial videos you'd like to see, I'd love to hear about them. So thanks for watching. Alright, now password wallets. Selznick is the password wallet I am using. There's many password wallets out there. I could probably find you a different password wallet and send you an affiliate link so that I get a small commission from advising you about it. And if you want one of them, just ask in the comments section and I'll post an affiliate link. But I am not an affiliate of this company. I'm just simply showing you what I use because I consider this a very good company. They have always been above board. I've been using them for over a decade. They've never price gouged me for prices. Their updates come on an as-needed basis. So if an operating system changes for your Mac or your Windows or your iOS or Android, they'll give you an update so that everything works like it should. But I don't think I've had an update fee from them for a couple of years. And last time I did, it was something minimal like $10 or something. Other password companies that have software that I believe is inferior to Password Wallet will charge you annual fees of up to $100 a year. This, I can't remember how much it costs, but it's ridiculously affordable. So yeah, that's my plug for Selznick. Like I say, I'm not affiliated in any way. I just believe in recommending good software and giving credit where credit is due. Alright, so yeah, all the best. Please like and subscribe if this was helpful, and look forward to helping you more in the future. Don't forget to check out my hosting company, Foxy Web Design. We have a full range of hosting services from the value plan right up to business class and boss hosting. We provide WordPress maintenance, SEO. We also do social media management. And seeing as we're here, I may as well show you my other business, Design King. This is more boutique design. I've been designing for over 30 years for companies like Sony, Telstra, Fuji Xerox, NRMA, 20th Century Fox, and the list goes on. So if you want agency class design at freelance prices, you could do not a lot better than having a chat with us. All right, bye for now.